What is going on, Sleeper Nation? We are in the deep end, diving into some divisional action. Of course, I am Nader, host here with my co-host, the number one Australian analyst, Sheahan. Man, hey, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Oh, it's Wednesday. For you, it's Thursday morning. Certainly. Congratulations to that.
Yeah, living in the future as always, man. I had a whole bit ready for the start of the show saying that Scott Fishbowl was racist and didn't like foreigners and everyone should just boycott it. But then I got in, so now I have no bit to say that we're going to kick off the not Fishbowl. And in fact, I've always loved the Scott Fishbowl, so it's great.
Well, I didn't get in, and I don't know if you remember, like 2 episodes ago, like I pressed them on it too, and I still did it. And you got the invite, so I think that was spite.
I think they thought it was. I think they thought it was tacky, asking on air and putting Ryan on the spot like that. And I think this is your punishment. But
it's what I do.
I'm excited to basically for all the people, and this might make me sound like a bit of a dick, for all the people like begging to get in, and I was sort of ambivalent about getting in either way. I mean, it's pretty cool, but like,
it's like a big.
As I said last week, if I missed out on the Down Under Bowl, then we'd be in real trouble.
Oh my God. All right. So if you guys haven't heard them in the background, we have Stephanie Smalls, on beat writer for Sleeper and the master of the New York Giants, not to confuse them with the San Francisco Giants.
Imagine if I was a beat writer. I would be so awful for whatever team I wrote for. I am like totally too unhinged to be a beat writer. But yes, I'm excited. This will be a blast. Robbie's my boy. Happy to be on here, especially, things might get a little heated with the NFC East, but at the same time, I think a lot of our teams are in the same place. And it's
it is what it is
for all the season. So,
of course, Rum Boys from the Rum Boys Fantasy Network, a musician, a rum enthusiast, draft night out host. I don't know why, but a Washington football team fan.
DC or nothing, baby. Stand up. DMV, what up?
Intro, man. That you gave him a way better intro than I have.
I know. It's like I go to the trouble to write these out. No, we like mumble through Steffi's intro.
I'm a beat writer that likes the Giants, and Robbie is the coolest person on earth. Rum enthusiast, musician, owner of this, owner of that. It's fine. Keep going. I already can tell who I'm going to be on sides with during this.
Well, to be fair, Rum Boys, he follows me on Twitter, and you don't. So I mean, clearly, you don't get to get in.
So is this what happened with the Scott Fishbowl, though? See how the tacky comes in here.
That's what I do.
So what's your Twitter? We will handle this
too
now.
Late. It's too late. No, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Well, look I can't even tell what it is. Top tier. Look at this. I'm gonna find it. It's fine.
Yeah. Underscore, by the way, but we don't want it. That doesn't matter. See, the problem is I was able to find Rum Boys' intro on the notes sheet. I couldn't find yours fast enough, so I had to just wing it.
You actually don't follow me.
Well, do you follow me? Do you follow me?
Whose fault was that?
I'm going to follow you first. I didn't even realize I was a musician. I mean, I am, but like I can rap. But
this is great content fighting over who followed.
But I did.
Episode on a rival podcast. I was like, I got to get something about this guy because he's got nothing in his bio. So I ended up stalking you by listening to you on other pods. You're like, yeah, I think I do music sometimes. I was like, that's going in. That's fine.
All right. Well, of course, we're going to be talking about the NFC East. We're going to deep dive in them, of course, because we got the Giants and the Washington football team fan. Typically, we were doing the AFC and we were on a roll there, but apparently, since we got some specialized writers and analysts on those sides, it's only fair. It's only right to go into those divisions. But of course, we got our questions without notice. Sheahan's going to be in charge of that one. Of course, we got my words of wisdom, and then we'll hit him with the deep dive.
Sounds good, man. And I noticed once again we've stolen George's podcast from him.
Yeah, we did.
I think he was
He's
getting
not
a little
here.
bit too comfortable over 2 weeks.
See,
He just needed to be reminded that he's a guest these days.
Exactly. I mean, we told him we were going to get him on this one, and then we didn't. I feel like that's the biggest flex that we could possibly do.
Yeah, and took his mother out for a nice seafood dinner and never called her again. Right. Questions without notice. Here we go. This is our groundbreaking segment where I ask you questions. We have no notice. It's fantastic. So, all 3 of you, give me a player or narrative you are all in on and one you are entirely out on. Let's say, guess first. Robbie, kick us off, brother.
Okay.
Don't do it, Robbie. Play nice. It's early.
One that I am completely in on.
One you're completely in on and one you're completely out on.
So one that I am completely in on is that in redraft formats, Mike Davis is going to shock the freaking world. He's just primed and ready for opportunities there in Atlanta. And really, only other argument that non-believers have is, well, it's Atlanta, it's the Falcons. Okay, cool, that's your argument. But he's also the only person in that backfield that's going to get the touches. And he is going to be the premier back there. So there's one that I'm all in on, that and Terry McLaurin not being affected by Curtis Samuel, but I've tweeted that a million times. One that I am completely out on. One that I'm completely out on. I'm trying to think of something that I've zero RB just isn't going to work. I'm completely out on zero RB, but I've done enough of attacking zero RB truthers. If you're a zero RB truther on this panel, I apologize.
There's a player zero RB.
Well, no, like just like a strategy overall.
I'm messing with you.
But yeah, that's like one I could say like right now. I mean, as far as like a player, I'm completely out. Joe Mixon, I'll never draft. There's that. But yeah, I mean,
Nice one. How about you, Steffi?
Are we talking about the NFC East, or can I say whatever I want? Because it's great. Anything?
You know what? It doesn't even have to be about football. Who cares?
This is a blast. Someone that I'm completely in on that is still for some reason getting trashed is Jonnu Smith. Like, Billy B did not sign Jonnu and Henry to not 12 personnel the crap out of the league all freaking day, especially with no solid receiver, with Cam Newton starting. Like, you're going to get tight end action. And I think between the two of them, it's going to end up being Jonnu. He's slipping so far. People are hanging on to Henry. Like, just let it go. He hasn't been the same since his injury. Like, just break up with Henry, get over it. I think Jonnu is the exact, like, an example of a player that just needs a new system is Jonnu. So I think all the athleticism, everything you need is there. This couldn't be a more perfect fit. So totally, completely all in on him. I guess I'll say tight end. Speaking of Robbie's, I'm not in on I was in on Logan Thomas last year. I don't know that he reaches the targets that everyone is saying because they have so much talent over there that I don't know if he ends up entering this blocking role a little bit more, especially with them needing the protection to protect Ryan Fitzpatrick over there. So I'm a little less in on him, which is surprising because I was very high on him. I have tons of Logan Thomas, but I fear that he is not going to get the targets that everyone thinks he is.
With your take with Bill Belichick and the Patriots, I mean, that add a little bit more validation to that. Your receivers are fucking Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar.
Literally.
Like, come on, like, what are we doing?
Didn't he? I think he actually, if he wasn't first, he was in the top 3, leading the entire league in drops. Like, no matter the position, like the entire league, like. The dude, y'all can laugh at Evan Ingram all you want. Like, Aguilar literally can't catch the ball, and then you're going to give him Cam Newton. Will that change with the Mac Jones when he enters? Maybe, possibly, but they don't have receivers over there, and they're bringing on two of the better receiving tight ends probably in the league. And I think we know Bill Belichick. He gets off to 12 personnel. This is been his story, how he wins Super Bowls, right? So I'm all in on Jonnu Smith.
Get ready for Gronk, Aaron Hernandez 2.0.
Right.
Except no one's getting murdered this time.
Yeah, and it's like a discounted version.
There's two things I can't stand. Two things I can't stand. Pineapple on pizza and insulting the baby dropper Nelson Aguilar. We don't do that around here.
Bro,
okay. I'm not even a stats girl. I'm not a stats girl, but those stats are stats. And you're giving him what? What are you giving him? Freaking Cam Newton? It's only going to get worse, my friend.
The fact that Philly fans catching babies out, getting thrown out of a burning building, had more receptions, all right, than Nelson Aguilar tells us all that we need to know there.
Yeah.
And he did it phenomenally. All right, so something I'm out on. That's Antonio Gibson. I think he's going to be absolutely horrible this year. And of course, we're going to talk about that later. So I'm going to save it.
What are you all in on, Matt?
Oh, Raheem Mostert and whichever running back is on the Niners. That's it. Just give me anybody.
What the
No,
fuck?
Mostert can't even. He hasn't made it through anything. Wilson's already getting surgery. He's going to be out toast cold. Get as much Sermon and Galvin as you can, because that's going to be the backfield there. I'll put money on it.
You're out on Gibson, but in on San Fran's backfield. Okay.
Yeah.
I've now heard it all. I've now heard it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Twitter was wild today.
Yeah, that was some wild shit right there. Like you just said. Like I was like, what?
I can't wait to hear what he has to say about the Giants. If that's your take.
Oh yeah. I didn't even feel like having to say what that. Yeah, we'll get there.
Wait, are you
we'll
an Eagles fan?
No, I'm a Niners fan.
Oh.
Well, okay, there's the bias.
There we go. There we go.
So this has to be coming from somewhere.
Great. We have one more question without notice for you all. I don't know if you saw the story about the guy whose punishment finishing last in his league was he had to sit in a Waffle House for 24 hours. Every time he ate a waffle, it took an hour off his time. So I think he ended up sitting there for 15 hours and eating 9 waffles. So simple question. If you had a similar punishment, which restaurant would you pick and what food item would it be? And we'll start with Steffi this time.
Okay, so being stuck in a Waffle House is actually my nightmare. If you don't follow me, which top tier over here does not. There's only one thing in this entire world that I think is disgusting and will not eat. I eat everything else, cauliflower, whatever, name it. Maple syrup is vile to me. You stink. You smell awful. Like that's my torture. My hell is being around maple syrup that long. That's my hell. Like I cannot even imagine a worse experience. So if I could torture someone else, God. I feel like a rainforest cafe could get really, really bad, Like you stay in a rainforest cafe just a little too long. Like even as a kid, you go there for a birthday party and you're like, Mom, it's like a little loud. I'm ready to get out of here. Like it's too dark. It gets a little creepy in there. Imagine if I just stay there that long. I go crazy. I'd have a headache. It'd be a nightmare. But miss me with the Waffle House. That's for sure.
I'm with you on Waffle House. My first job was in a waffle and ice cream store, and even now, like if I smell the batter, it makes me gag, and it was horrible. So sucked into that guy. How about you, Robbie?
So first, really quick with the Rainforest Cafe, I might be okay with that if I am off of psychedelic substances.
But you have to be sober.
Oh shit! No, we're not doing a Rainforest Cafe. Yeah, that just sounds like psychological warfare. For me. It's gotta be like I'm hitting up like a seafood bar of some sort, just if I gotta be locked into a place for 24 hours, we're loading up, tons and tons of just crab legs. I'm gonna make the best of it.
Nice. How about you, Nader?
Put me in a McDonald's. I'll eat all the chicken nuggets you can give me, baby.
You're a cheap date.
Oh yeah. I could tell you stories.
I was trying to torture someone else. Like if that's the case, you have a whole other story here. Put me in a bagel shop and we're done. Like I'll sit there all day. That's fine.
Yeah, McDonald's. So is it an hour per 20 chicken nuggets, 10 chicken nuggets?
I'm going to say, I would say it would be 20.
20?
I sat in the Times Square McDonald's like every tourist and ate 100 chicken nuggets and did not feel well after that. So I think you'd be struggling very, very quickly.
No. I'd be there for maybe about 4 hours.
Just smashing nuggets. There we go.
That's what I do. That
sounds like a rock band, smashing nuggets.
I just did the McDonald's challenge a couple weeks ago. It was great. I threw up 7 times after, but...
Throwing up eating McDonald's? That's impossible.
I did the McDonald's challenge. Nasty 3 Big Macs, 4 fries, 2 sodas, and 20 nuggets.
McDonald's is nasty as hell.
Not
It's a
even
quiet day for
McDonald's.
Donald Trump.
McDonald's is the best. Like I can't even think of a place I'd rather eat over McDonald's.
Damn.
It's just
Gotta get you culture.
You need to get out more, my friend.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Diversify
I
your
love when we have
bonds.
guests on and you turn into this like antagonistic character. It's fantastic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like I just speak like what I like, and all of a sudden, well, apparently people just don't like it. I don't know what happens.
I think that's fair, and they don't really know you either. But we still don't have a stinger for this segment, man. But it is now time for Nader's wise words of wisdom.
All right, so if anybody ever says, "Oh man, they're gonna regret that in the morning," just sleep till noon, then you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's getting
Yeah.
worse.
I have nothing to say is actually solid advice.
Yeah.
And delete your text as well.
No,
Yeah,
no, keep
always
that. We need the
delete that.
receipts. You need the receipts.
No.
No, don't look at your
Yeah.
phone. Just
No, I delete my text. Fuck that.
I have my texts from like 2015 still. I mean, granted, I don't get many texts, so it's not hard, but still.
Oh man.
psycho behavior.
Yeah. All right.
Mm.
Sheahan, all you.
Right. Well, the following reading is an excerpt from the upcoming 8th book in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Soul-Crushing Desk Job. sleeperWire does not endorse the personal views of J.K. Rowling. Harry sat at his desk in the Ministry of Magic, drumming his quill against his forehead. Boring, innit? Said Ron. Since we killed Voldemort? Sure, said Harry. We killed Voldemort. Hermione, surely you know a spell or potion that could break this mundane life of government work that's somehow desirable in this world where seemingly anything's possible. Well, said Hermione, it's not a spell or potion, but I was in the library. What were you in the library? Interjected Ron. We're not at school anymore. There's more than one library, Ron, you imbecile, and I was in one to get away from your incessant dumb comments, Hermione retorted. God, I wish I'd married Neville instead of you ginger moron. He wasn't just Neville Longbottom, if you know what I mean. Ron looked confused while Harry rolled his eyes and sighed. Anyway, said Hermione, I came across an ad for something called Draft Night Out that's happening in Canton, Ohio on August 14th, the day before the Fantasy Football Expo. What's Draft Night Out? Said Harry, his interest peaked. Well, you know how we're into fantasy Quidditch, said Hermione. This is for fantasy American football. Instead of a quaffle, they have an egg-shaped ball. Instead of two beaters, they all smash the living shit out of each other. And you know how the snitch is ridiculously influential and arbitrary? Well, they have their own ridiculous arbitrary rule called defensive pass interference. Sounds brilliant, said Harry. But despite our government jobs and my seemingly infinite wealth, how will we afford it? Well, that's the thing, replied Hermione. It's only 30 quid, and they'll enter us into a live draft with other football fans. They'll give us an exclusive t-shirt and lots of chances to win fantastic football memorabilia. And we'll get to rub shoulders with some of the biggest names in fantasy football, though my two favourites, Sheahan and Nader, won't be there. What are they like? Asked Harry. Well, Nader is cool, but Sheahan does these long, self-indulgent ad reads, said Hermione. Sounds like a real arsehole, said Harry. But what are we waiting for? How do we get tickets? I just need to go to draftnightout.com and buy them. Are you coming too, Ron? Ron scowled. No, I don't think I will. I'm a stupid ginger loser, so I won't go to Draft Night Out. Good, replied Hermione. Maybe Neville will want to come. Ron scowled, unaware that while Harry and Hermione were going off to have the time of their life at Draft Night Out, he was likely going to be made cuck of by Neville Longbottom. This reading and Draft Night Out is brought to you by sleeperWire, Eat Sleep Fantasy, Draft Party USA, and Prestige Sports Memorabilia.
I'm still stuck on Neville Longbottom.
So it's like he had a long penis. That's
Hey,
that joke.
Girthy, apparently.
Oh God.
That's something to think about. All right, or not.
Good.
Just want to
I
add.
guess.
Just want to add. All soulless gingers are welcome to Draft Night Out, and you will get the ability to party with the likes. Even though Sheahan and Nader won't be there, you will get to party with myself and
You
Steffi
missed
Smalls.
one part of it, though. That's very important.
Which is?
Literally the pregame for my birthday. My birthday is August 15th. Like, if you want to have fun with me for my birthday, then you have to come through because, the fantasy community obviously decided that they were planning a birthday party for me without knowing.
Yep.
It's just what I tell
Well, there you
myself.
go.
Okay, that's fair. I wasn't invited to the draft night out. Like we're advertising for it. I still wasn't invited to it.
Right. You also think I'm a beat writer, and like I'm just a Giants fan. Even though I'm looking here, there's all these nice words written about me. Finally pulled up the show sheet, and I'm a beat writer.
A beat writer.
That's why.
It happens sometimes, when something negative happens, you just got to say, hey, it'd be that way though.
Just roll with the punches.
All right. So the Philadelphia Eagles recapping the 2020 season 4-11 and the legendary tie, 26 in point score, 24th yard gain, 28th most passing yards, 9th in rushing yards. Not that bad. A little sneaky stat for everybody. I mean, Miles Sanders had 876 yards and 6 touchdowns. Travis Fulgham, out of all people, led the team in receiving with 539. Greg Ward, out of all people, don't even know who he is, led the team with 53 catches and 6 touchdowns. Carson Wentz, iconically known to being the Colts quarterback, threw for 2,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions before getting replaced by the new quarterback, Jalen Hurts. All right, so this seems a dumpster fire.
Carson Wentz a lot of credit. I don't know if he should be iconically the Colts quarterback. He's a crybaby.
He hasn't even thrown a Colts pass yet.
That's how iconic he is.
Yeah, I tell you, if you say to me, name a Colts quarterback, Carson Wentz, he's number one.
Exactly.
Then the Manning, Unitas, they're all down the line. But
Never
Carson
heard of
Wentz,
her.
Forget Rivers.
Never heard of her.
It's yes.
So I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's the most for me. He's the most intriguing player I would be going for, especially in a redraft league. It screams underwhelming, this roster. I don't know about you guys. You guys aren't no, I'm just kidding. You guys, of course, are the experts. Ron Boys, we'll start with you. I mean, is there anybody that you are targeting, especially in a redraft?
That's not named Jalen Hurts? Is that okay? Because I'm sure you don't just want me to repeat exactly what you just said.
There we go.
No, I'm more than likely going to fade this team completely. I mean, if I'm super desperate at running back and Miles Sanders is available, then I'll take it. But I mean, it's like a RB2 or like a flex play. But am I going out of my way to get a Philadelphia Eagle that is not Jalen Hurts on my team? Absolutely the hell not.
So right now, Zach Ertz is still a tight end for the Eagles. Of course, he's been rumored to be traded, but are we still not interested in him?
No, because it really depends on where Ertz goes, and I don't believe that he will be in Philly this upcoming season. Goddard is interesting. Dallas Goddard is interesting, but you can grab him, fairly, later. He's going pretty much right after, you see Kyle Pitts and Andrews go, and then he's right there with that Hawkinson kind of range. I could maybe see myself grabbing a piece of Goddard, but again, not like super anxious. There's other options out there.
All right, let's get a couple of this or that's going real fast because I like my this or that's. I like my ADPs. We'll start with Miles Sanders. Sheahan, help me out here.
We delved into this one pretty deeply 3 of the last 4 episodes, but let's have a look here. There's 5 running backs all going in consecutive picks. They are Antonio Gibson, who we'll obviously cover in more depth later, Najee Harris, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They are the RBs 15 through 19. Which of those would you prefer to have on your team?
Every single one of them, aside from Miles Sanders. I would go any of those. Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs is where the debate really comes in. And then I would more likely go Jacobs. I interviewed both players, both amazing guys. Have nothing against either one, but just for what they're going to produce for me in fantasy football, there are other options that I can go ahead of them or either pivot around to make sure that they don't end up on my team.
Steffi?
I want nothing to do with Sanders. Like, I could care less about him. I think they also have really two great options in Boston Scott and in Gainwell. I'm picking up Gainwell all over the place in Dynasty. I think that he will be a surprising snag for them because, the Eagles, everyone can talk about, they have all this depth. They don't have depth. Sanders has been underwhelming. Kiss my butt on that. I don't care. Boston Scott has proven to be actually a really functional running back when he was given the option. But out of these, I am falling into the Najee Harris trap. I do think that he's a special talent. I think on film, it's very obvious he's not like everyone else. And no matter what team he goes on, even if it is the Steelers who had an inability to run the ball entirely, he is a person that will run the ball even if that inability is there. He's a different type of person. Big Ben is his arm strength is just gonna keep dying out. We're not going to be able to keep up with the air yards the way that they have. So Najee is going to get the ball. In Dynasty, Najee, in redraft Gibson. My only concern with Gibson is this toe thing. But either way, Gibson's a fantastic person to have on either side. So you just have to prepare and redraft a little bit more just in case it does nag him.
So let's see. Miles Sanders in 12 games, because he was injured. He only played 12 games, mustered up 867 rushing yards and 200 receiving yards. So, he did put up 1,000-yard season. That's nothing to scoff at, I guess, at this point. I think what sets Miles Sanders apart is how terrible his division is he's going against. So you're going to get pretty decent matchups other than the Washington football team. They're of course going to be a little bit tougher, but it's still manageable. So that is something that he has going for him. I would take him over Josh Jacobs because while I don't think Jacobs gets suspended for driving, I believe, under the influence, it would scare me a little bit. I know the NFL has handed down suspensions for less. So,
Jacobs also finished as a top 8 running back last season in some format. So, I think that Jalen Hurts has proven in 4 games that he's either going to panic or throw the ball. So it's either going to throw the ball to Devontae Smith or run for your life. And I think that's going to take away from his success. So I think he only was successful because Carson Wentz sucks. And that's my only reason for putting Jacobs ahead, because I think that he's still, even though he has a mirror image over there with whoever they brought on for free agency, but I do think his success came from Carson Wentz being not good.
And with that being said, let's go into a little bit of X's and O's here. When you bring in and you draft a dynamic player like Gainwell, we've all seen the film. We all should have seen the film if we're actually doing our jobs right. But, we've all, seen the film of Gainwell. He's a very dynamic player. He can be utilized in a lot of different jet sweep scenarios, out of the backfield scenarios, so where that is going to eat into Miles Sanders. And I do think that Gainwell is going to produce and he's going to get touches in that offense, because of those abilities. How you mentioned earlier with Raheem Mostert, how a lot of those backs, they cannibalize each other, in jet sweep actions and play action scenarios and things of that nature. We're going to see a lot of that transfer over, here in Philadelphia when now they have personnel like that in Gainwell.
Something also to remember is the Eagles did sign Kerryon Johnson. While it has been immensely underwhelming, it's just something else to also think about. That could just be another person. As long as he's taken 4 to 5 touches away, then that's a huge fantasy impact from this standpoint. And
I will just make a comment this is NFC East talk. The Giants did finish in the top 10 defensively. So let's not act like they are not going against a hard defense, because they have secured that secondary is very scary.
It's James Bradbury.
They also have McKinney coming back. They have a Dory Jackson. There's weapons over there. They finished in the top 10 or number 9, depending where. So they are facing, other than Dallas, a hard defense.
All right. Okay. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss it. When we get to the Giants, we can get to the Giants.
She's right.
Yeah, no, she's 100% right. She's 100% right.
Washington was the only defensive threat that they're facing. That's not it.
All right. Well, when we get to the Giants, we'll discuss the Giants. So Devontae Smith, of course, he's going to be a top dynasty target. What about redraft? Are we Is he just kind of like a dart throw? Is he actually target? Is he just kind of irrelevant? Would you rather have Rieger?
I think that fantasy enthusiasts will go for Devontae Smith, just because there's a lot more upside, and Rieger just had burned so many fantasy players last year. With that being said, though, it's probably not going to happen till a little bit later, because typically in redraft, the psychology of the fantasy player is usually to go with what they know. And then later, you'll go and you'll gamble. You'll it's based off of risk assessment. You may, take that risk, but you're correct in saying, utilizing the term dart throw.
There we go.
I don't think Smith is a dart throw this year. Like, he's going way too early to be considered that. He's the wide receiver 27 off the board at the moment. That's a spot ahead of Brandon Ayuk. That's ridiculous. Like, no one in their right mind is going to be drafting Devonta Smith there, I think. Like, let some Eagles homer or someone who's not as plugged in as you, dear listener, take that risk, because to me, Rager's the dart thrower. He's the guy who's going, basically undrafted. That if you want someone with upside, he's got speed and he's been in the offense an extra year, I suppose. But then again, they got a new offensive coordinator. So who's to say? But I got no interest in Smith. I'm fine with him for Dynasty. I really liked him. I think potentially the issues with his BMI and all that sort of crap is overblown. He's an excellent football player. I don't love the situation, but I think in this sort of situation, talent wins out. And I think there's every chance that, as much as I think Hurts is a value this year and potentially the cheapest, top 5 or 6 quarterback you might get, I think there's equal likelihood that he flames out and they're picking early, and next year he's catching passes from like a Keaton Slovis or something like that. And that's obviously going to be much better for his value than whatever this run first offense is going to be. But I totally echo those thoughts on Gainwell as well. I think I think we're going to see enough from him to put the fear of God up Miles Sanders owners, and excitement from the people who are drafting him late in dynasty drafts. And I love nominative determinism as well. And his name's Gainwell. That's good enough for me.
He's gonna get the gains well. I like it.
Gain well by name, gain very well by reputation.
Okay, all right. On that note, we're gonna move on to the Dallas Cowboys, because they're probably how should I say it? One of the more interesting fantasy options, considering last year, at one point, they were supporting 3 basically wide receiver ones. Of course, they still had Zeke. Dak was lighting it up for 40 points per game until all of a sudden his toe bent the wrong way. 17th in points scored. Their stats, it's skewed because it's going to be a completely different offense once Dak is there. Now, Zeke, of course, he was the outlier with how many times he decided to fumble the ball. Still had 979 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 92 catches, over 1,000 yards. And of course, Lamb, Gallup, all had 5 touchdowns. We discussed before how when you have 3 optimal receivers, you should always go with the cheapest one. But is that the case here?
I don't think so. As much as I love Michael Gallup, and I've been trying to buy him ever in Dynasty, because I think he's an excellent football player. He's going to be free agent after this season, and he's going to be somewhere else and kicking ass there. I think it's Amari Cooper in this case. As much as I loved CD Lamb last year, I think Cooper is a baller. He's shown himself to be basically QB proof, and that connection is there. It might be a little bit of what he's done in the past, and the big games he's won me in the past. But no, I love Cooper. It just goes to show last year, 92 catches and over 1,000 yards. As good as Lamb was, as good as Gallup was, Cooper's still the alpha there.
Steffi?
So, loving Cooper, not to be disagreeing, but he did just have surgery, hasn't made it through OTAs, didn't make it through minicamp. Not a fan, don't love it. They're being very quiet about what he did have done. I still like Coop for redraft, but in my dynasty leagues, not who I'm going for as far as someone that I'm drafting. I'm all in on CeeDee Lamb. I think that with CeeDee Lamb, with the numbers he was able to put up without Dak, who at one point, I hate on pace. I think it's the most overused, ridiculous term ever that fantasy analysts, people, whatever you want to call everyone, uses. But 6,700 yards, that's a different type of on pace, right? Like we're talking about that's yardage. Like the dude's going to ball out, take away 2,000 of those yards. It doesn't matter. They have to go somewhere. And I think a lot of them are going to go to CD because I think we saw Zeke not playing the way that Zeke has played. And I think that they have overpaid him and they're going to keep forcing him the ball. So hopefully he pulls together for them. But I think you also have someone like Tony Pollard who comes in and is showing a lot of opportunity there to be a fantastic running back. So I think CeeDee Lamb will end up being the breadwinner. But again, this Dallas Cowboys offense is stacked. I mean, they're going to be a fast pace, points ahead, all over it. Like I'm all in on their offense. Their defense will be their problem. And then the more you have them on the field, the more likely that people get hurt, the more that things don't go the way that you want. So the Dallas Cowboys are they're it's going to be interesting what ends up happening with them because the talent is there. I'm not butt in on the defense. You can draft whoever you want. And they don't have depth there on the defense. One person gets hurt on defense, they're screwed. Like they don't have the backups there. So it'll be interesting.
They don't have backups, and I'd argue they don't even have starters. CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, would be the guy I want. Yeah, you tried saying it politically. I just said how it probably should have been said.
Defense is not good. It's not going to be good.
It's shit.
Right?
It's
They're like
straight
basura.
basura.
You've got all the talent in the world, but it's just like the Falcons. The defense blows, and you can't get very far if your defense blows.
And let's keep in mind, narratives do play a role in this, and this is a very media front-facing organization. They gave CeeDee Lamb the number 88, and they call it the Dallas Cowboys 88 Club. Okay, Drew Pearson, Michael Irving, just to name a couple of guys that wore that number 88 and were great Cowboys receivers. And the fact that Cooper's on a 1-year deal, they're going to definitely be moving on from Cooper come next year. CeeDee Lamb's going to be the guy. They're putting him on season tickets. They're utilizing him to keep asses in seats. They are marketing around CeeDee Lamb. They are, which means they are in turn going to make sure that his stat line is super impressive. So take it for what you will. You can utilize that narrative any which way. They are going to force feed CeeDee Lamb the ball because they're going to make sure that he is their prize possession, their prize money maker.
Can we get a couple of this or that's for CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, let's do some CeeDee Lamb. So he's currently the wide receiver.
Broke this? He did something as a rookie, but I'm trying to pull it up right now. I can't think of it.
I think it was consecutive games with over 5 catches.
I think it might be something like that.
It's something like that because that's partly why I got bought in. Not to interrupt you, but because he played with whatever QB. Like imagine if you bring in Dak, who is one of he's fantastic. I think people forgot because he got hurt. So you add that level of a quarterback to someone that already was able to have that success. I think is CeeDee to the moon in my opinion.
I was the one who pissed people off back in the day when Dak got drafted because I was like, look at his film at Mississippi State. That boy nasty. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm right now. I'm like, oh, I'm right. Like, look at you. But yeah, this or that.
No, I'm with you. In fact, now I seem like the idiot who pinned his colors to the Amari Cooper mast, but forever Amari. So CeeDee Lamb's the wide receiver 24. Personally, before we do this or that, you can't go past that value. Especially given some of the other names around him. So let's say CeeDee Lamb or Tyler Lockett.
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb.
See, that's not even hard. That's easy.
Because Lockett's
Seahawks, I am not a fan of. Other than Chris Carson, I am having a hard time digesting all of them this year.
So that gives you your answer for he's a long way up. CeeDee Lamb or DK Metcalf.
Redraft.
Yep.
DK.
Yeah.
CD.
But once again, so going back to when you asked Lockett, you still either way with DK, you are now wondering, even if you do pick DK over CD, you're still sitting back like, so is it going to be a lock it week or is it going to be your week, DK?
Yeah, that's why. So with Metcalf, this is when I decided. Last season, I was out because secondaries figured him out. Washington, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Giants, they shut him out. Like going from 20 plus points to 3 points a week. I don't want to deal with that headache in redraft. No, thank you, Metcalf. Like if you can get shut down that easily, you can't get me 8 points. You're talking 4 points sometimes. No, I'm done. Not in redraft. Too much of a headache.
It's the part where his size kind of is a bit of a disadvantage because, the bigger you are, that's more space as a corner. I can, take my hands and I can jam and I can, get on you. So because he is such a big target and he has such a big, like shelf, like pad shelf, the corners are able, just play him close and man him up. Well, not man him up, but just make sure they can play him close. You definitely play off fucking DK. Do not jam that man.
No, the only issue with DK is, of course, he's going to always take the number one corner. And of course, with Amari Cooper on your side, he's going to be the one that does that. And when you're going to get Jalen Ramsey twice a year, and of course, when he got shut down by the Cardinals, it was by Patrick Peterson. Now he's gone. So, I mean, that could be debatable. Yes, correct. So
I don't even know what their schedule looks like. But there were several weeks. Like we're talking Washington did it. The Giants did it as well.
Bradbury.
It's not just Washington.
When you've got a limited skill set, like Metcalf does a lot with the tools he has, but you get found out if you haven't got that. If you've got a fairly shallow bag of tricks, it's pretty easy to put a stop to it. And I think people found that out. I'll give you another either or while Steffi is looking for whatever she's looking for. CeeDee Lamb or Kenny Golladay?
CeeDee Lamb.
What's Kenny Galladay's ADP? Before we go on?
Spoilers for later in the episode.
Sorry.
He's currently wide receiver 21, ADP of 50.
In redraft?
Yeah. This is data from.
That's especially coming off the injury and going to the team that he went to. That is way too high.
What
He's
round?
like 40 or something in Dynasty. He's going so late.
Wait, yeah.
He is going in the. Let me find it. It is in my notes somewhere. He's going in the mid-fifth round.
Mid-fifth round. Wow, that's. Ooh. All right.
Before we move on for the Cowboys, I was just going to say, as much of an issue as Zeke's fumbling was last year, he's always been a fumbly guy. This is the third time in how many seasons he's had more than 5 fumbles. So it's not like it's a massive. He's gone from being Mr. Ball Security to like Edward Butterhands, but
it happens when you look like an Ewok.
Yeah. But I think he's like for the same reasons that you said about CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are, they're such a public facing organization that they got to save face from time to time, and they paid up Zeke. They're going to give him the ball in the red zone, and I'm interested to see what sort of confidence Dak has in his ankles now that he's coming back from getting shit mixed last year. That is he going to be taking off? Is he going to be scrambling? Are they going to be handing it to Zeke more? I've been teasing this article for I feel like a month because it feels like I've been writing for that long about what the Cowboys are going to do in the red zone this year. But basically, I think that they went out and they signed Simi Fehoko, who is absolutely massive, can't fucking catch, but he's huge. And they signed 3 UDFAs who are all 6'4" or bigger, big red zone weapons because they're really not sure how they're going to go in the red zone. They haven't had a red zone weapon since Dez, and for all of their good work up until the 20, they've struggled to get it in there without Zeke. So I think there is something to all of it, and maybe it is Tony Pollard. Maybe he's going to be the guy who picks it up, but there's something definitely happening for me in Dallas that they're not happy about and are trying to address.
There we are. I mean, the red zone work has always been Zeke's forte. Zeke, you could always count on maybe 100 to 90 yards rushing and a touchdown and a couple of receptions here and there. And that's what made Zeke one of the most elite RBs you can get, especially in redraft first round, top 3 pick. Of course, now it's going to change this year with the uncertainty, but I mean, if it goes all back to normal, I think Zeke might be a phenomenal value pick. Where's he going?
He's the RB8. He's RB8. Going about the 10th or 11th off the board at the moment.
I haven't seen him go lower than 103 or 104 in all of my drafts so far. Yep. He's getting taken way too high for me. Not my cup of tea. 108, yeah, for sure. But 103, 104, nope.
Yeah, sign me up at the back end of the first. I think
Yeah, sign me up there.
We've done whether it's going to be 8 RBs to start a draft in a lot of leagues and a lot of home leagues this year. Would you rather Zeke or Aaron Jones?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, Aaron, because I think even without Rodgers there, you take Rodgers out of the equation, Jones going to eat all day. And then without Jones, he's still going to eat just for 20 hours instead of 24, So I think either way, Jones is going to be the guy. Zeke makes me very nervous. I know everyone is very still high on him, but I'm just not in on it. I'd rather actually have Najee Harris.
Last year was the first time that I had rostered Zeke, and it'll be the last time that I ever rostered Zeke.
Last year's unfortunate. It's unlucky, and I think
because everyone else did fine.
When you need a change of pace, and of course, change of pace backs typically end up doing better when the starter does worse, because teams can just lock in on him, and of course, they psychologically see, Zeke's on the field, let's lock him up. Tony Pollard, he's not much of you would assume he's not much of a threat. I'll take Zeke. Give me Zeke over Aaron.
I'm liking the sort of double tap you can do at the end of the first round with Zeke, and then coming back for Austin Eckler early in the second. I wrote an article about the Chargers this week. I'm fully convinced that Eckler's going to have an absolute gangbuster season, get some nice passing work there. So if you're kicking off your draft with those two, shove your 0 RB up your ass.
There we go. I like that.
I can't stand 0 RB. Oh, I hate that. I hate that strategy.
Enough ranting about them. The New York
I'm not giving you no more attention.
The New York Giants. All right, Steffi, I'm going to hand you the floor. This one's all yours, right?
I don't need the floor. Hey, come on.
Nah, too late. I already gave it to you.
About what? What do you want to know about? You already think the defense sucks, even though we have a top 7, top 5 secondary in the league, but apparently it sucks. So.
Oh my God. All right, fine. 6-10 record, 31 in points scored. Maybe this is why you wanted me to do it. And yards gained, 29th in passing yards, 19th in rushing yards. Wayne Gallman led the team with 682 yards, 6 touchdowns. Darius Slayton, out of all people, led the receivers with 751. Oof. We're talking running backs here. 3 touchdowns. Okay. Sterling Shepard, 66 catches, 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, hair under 3,000 passing yards, 11 touchdowns.
Before we go on too far, what was your contention on Daniel Jones there, Steffi?
I don't have a contention. I'll make my case at the end here.
I was just
this is very easy.
This is where I got the one rushing touchdown.
This is now where you guys
pass judgment without realizing. So I'll do my spiel once you finish your spiel.
And then she's going to be pissed at me, and it's going to be okay.
No, it's okay. I don't care anymore.
I know. I love you. It's okay.
Is there any other shitty stats you want to mention?
You know what? Here, I wanted to see, and I checked the yards after catch statistic, and the Giants are 31st, and only the Baltimore Ravens are worse. And they don't really pass the ball.
So for our second and third string, right? We don't have a wide receiver 1 or a running back 1.
Yes.
Right. And we have the youngest O-line in the whole league. We have
I was going to address that.
And we have Andrew Thomas playing on a broken foot. And we have Cam Fleming, who is the worst O-lineman in the entire league. We have Nick Gates, who is under center for the first time, has never played the position. Evan Ingram led in targets. He lost the team 35 points. He actually was in top 5 most drops. There was 22 drops this year. He dropped 11 of those. Darius Slayton is the second most targeted player on the team. He's not a wide receiver 1, not a wide receiver 2. He's a wide receiver 3. He lost an additional 11 points. That's 46 points right there. The New York Giants lost those middle few games by only 6 points. Any more questions? Should I go on? Because I can continue.
Listen,
No. Keep going. This is the floor. This is the floor that I'm talking about here.
Saquon was hurt. Saquon and Daniel Jones have only played ready. Daniel Jones has started 26 games. Of those 26 games, he's only had Saquon for 11. 11. Okay,
Wait, repeat
11.
Repeat that one. Sorry, I didn't hear the stat.
You guys can't judge the Giants. The fact that they won 6 games is shocking. I thought we'd win 4. So this team is very underrated, and I think it is complete crap that everyone is giving them a lot of shit because they actually pulled off a season for a shit team.
So the reason why y'all get a lot of shit, all right, is because one, just how New Yorkers are, you know. So like it's fun to get New Yorkers riled up.
I don't care. Yeah. It's a thing. I'm realistic. You know that. I thought we were winning 4 games. We won 6.
No. I mean, but you know, and then it's also like you guys are one of like New York City just in general, like football aside, is one of the biggest media markets in the world. So like any chance that people can like go at, you know, New York anything, right, they do it. You know, but that aside, I mean, my take on the Giants really just comes down to I don't think that Daniel Jones is this team's franchise quarterback. I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. Not just for the Giants, for any organization. Once again,
I said the same thing about Eli Manning, but I have 2 rings and happiness from him, so it doesn't matter. I always felt that Eli Manning had 20 turnovers in the year he won the Super Bowl. 20.
But I've always felt like Eli could be a franchise QB. Like he could be a guy that, you know, you can, you know, you can utilize, you can build around. You know, Daniel Jones, I just don't feel that way. When's the last time that we saw a quarterback come out of Duke University and really turn up in the NFL? Duke University is not a football school, you know, so he's not to have the tangibles to be the New York Giants franchise QB to be Robbie. What New York needs. I just don't
Robbie. What? Just one last thing. I'll shut my mouth after this. Who's the best deep ball passer in the league?
Got him.
Okay.
Who is the best deep ball passer that has never had a wide receiver one? Who? Say his name and tell me what university he went to.
I'm not doing that.
Daniel Jones, he's never been given an actual opportunity with Saquon, with a real O-line. People need to give him a shot. We have shoddy quarterbacks that take people to Super Bowls all the time. Jimmy Garoppolo. Here we go. We'll talk about
Garoppolo did it. Joe Flacco did it.
Flacco did it. He's fine. You don't need a great quarterback.
No.
Mahomes proved that. You don't always win a Super Bowl with a great quarterback.
Fucking Fouts took the Chargers to a Super Bowl in the 90s. It
doesn't matter. Listen, I watched Eli Manning be horrible season after season after season after season. But then he got to the playoffs and he did great. So it's fine. You know, and the thing is, everyone can laugh. Daniel Jones this, Daniel Jones that. It doesn't matter because we have draft capital up the ass. So if he sucks, we just toss him to the side. We have 2 first rounds, 2 third rounds, and 2 fourth rounds, 10 total picks. It doesn't matter because they built the defense up. So this team's in a good position. If we lose, we win 7 games next year? Cool, I'll be pumped.
Hey, well, y'all ain't winning the damn division. I know that damn much.
Well, I mean,
2004, baby. Who won?
To be fair, this division isn't.
This is the first year. This is the first year that a team is going to repeat the division. Mark my words.
Since 2004.
This will be the first time.
No, it won't.
This will be the first time.
It really won't.
This will be the first time since 2004.
It really won't.
The same team has repeated. Yes, it will. It is happening. I'm
gonna die. I'm gonna die on the Daniel Jones hill. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I think he is I think after this year he will be.
To me?
No. I still don't follow you on Twitter.
Is it because we got off on the wrong foot?
No. I still don't follow you on Twitter, by the way. I still don't.
He still thinks you're a beat writer.
Yeah.
If I was a beat writer,
you'd have a lot. You'd have a lot of money.
Oh,
I quite like. I want Jones to succeed. I want every player in the NFL to succeed. I'm just a nice guy like that. And I think, you know, you sort of hit the nail on the head there, Robbie. He's got all these weapons around him for the first time. or might have been Steffi who said that. Your voices sound very similar to me.
What?
Because we're related.
Thanks. I sound like a chick. Thanks.
It's because I'm surrounded by testosterone, and now I'm like turning into a guy.
No, it was more along the well. He's going to get a rare opportunity that not a lot of quarterbacks get, and that is a chance to prove it in an offense where you should be able to play well. You know, we see so many rookies, so many guys like Darnold come in and flame out because he's just got no one around him. And we're going to find out about Darnold here, but we're going to find out about Daniel Jones as well and go, well, if you know, same with Hurts. If they suck, they're going to be picking at the top of the draft anyway. And they're going to get some kid in who's going to have all these weapons around him. They can reload. But, you know, Jones has showed enough that he's got the potential to be fantasy relevant, but he needs to get better at a lot of things you need to be good at to be a quarterback. And I think he needs an offensive coordinator that's going to tailor that game plan to him as well. It's overall to say he hasn't had a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2. Where are they trying to make a Daniel Jones-centric offense? Are they trying to make him do things that he can't do, doesn't want to do? And, you know, I said it before. He's only had 3 games in his career where he hasn't had a turnover. That's a real fucking concern. You've got to look after the ball. You can go to the Super Bowl with an underwhelming quarterback.
You're asking him to work with not a lot. Also, Jason Garrett is waste to football. He should be coaching high school football, or he should be a head coach. He is not an offensive coordinator. He's trash. They shouldn't have got rid of Shermer. Shermer should have stayed. You know, you don't switch coaches on a new guy like that. It's ridiculous. Like
Jason Garrett might mess
Jason
around.
Garrett is a disgrace. You know, how many Ingram reverses do you want Ingram to draw? Like, you want to Ingram reverse me to death on 3rd and 6 another damn time, bro? Like,
that was the worst fucking play.
Talk about a vanilla playbook. But here you go. You got everything you need, okay?
And he's still clapping till this day.
And I've never seen a team as long as I've been a football fan, which is my entire life.
I've never seen a team go to tight end reverse.
As long as I have been a football fan, literally from what I can remember actually understanding it, I have never seen a team bring in so many coaching personnel on an offseason. They are planning to fire his ass week 4 if he doesn't pull it together. It's happening. They didn't upgrade Freddie Kitchens. They'll get rid of him. He came in with Colombo. I called the Colombo firing. It's probably my best call ever in all of football. I called that happening.
It did make it go viral.
And he came in with him. He was a Mara hiring. Jason Garrett is on the hot seat there. And I think bringing in Rudolph, he's a sneaky value for everyone. You can get him off waivers, very cheap. He's actually free. He is going to end up doing fantastic. I think Ingram had 112 targets for 1 receiving touchdown. Last year, Kyle Rudolph had 37 targets for 1 receiving. Is that right? Maybe someone fact check me, somewhere along those lines.
Right.
So I know my Giants. So there's one thing I do know. I know my Giants. If Rudolph is even given the opportunity, I think he needed the year prior was like 60 targets for 6 touchdowns, maybe in 2019. If he's given that opportunity, you give him Jason Garrett, who is obsessed with Jason Witten, like cannot get over him. He tried to force Ingram to be Witten. Ingram is not Witten. Ingram really wants to be a wide receiver, which he is not. And he should have just gone that direction at some point. But I think you're going to see Rudolph be someone that's very fantasy relevant this year.
So Daniel Jones, he's currently 8-19 as a starter. He is undefeated actually against the Washington football team.
That's their dad.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but
I do know that.
You know that? Okay, cool.
You won't let me forget it. Like
it's all I have, man. Come on.
And if I were you, I would ride it to my grave. So right now, Daniel Jones, I like him a lot. I like him more than Kyler Murray. I like him more than Dwayne Haskins, of course. I mean, that's over with there. But
okay, well, like Jones more than Kyler Murray.
Wait,
yes.
You just bring up Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah,
weird take.
Aren't they the same draft class?
I mean, yeah, they were the same draft class, but
Baker Mayfield laughed when Haskins got taken. When Jones got taken before Haskins. It's a whole thing. I'll do anything for Jones to do well just for that moment, man.
Oh yeah,
I would take Jones over Haskins. I wouldn't take Jones over Kyler.
No, I think Kyler. I mean, this is for
Kyler's
another
meant to
time,
be
but I think
wrong.
Kyler's trash.
Really? Trash?
Yeah, I think he's trash. I think he's trash.
God, now we're going on for a whole nother pod.
Yeah. If you guys want to be on the NFC West episode, we can dive this one to the fullest of extents. But I mean, I think he's trash.
Kyler. I love Kyler.
If he wasn't a running quarterback, I mean, obviously that's his whole forte, but he wouldn't be anything.
I love running QBs.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in the fantasy aspect, a lot of people like running quarterbacks. Just like how I think Lamar Jackson isn't going to be in the league in a couple of years.
One's never won a ring. There's never been a mobile quarterback.
Lamar and Kyler are different, though.
Very different. Yeah, very different. Yeah.
I don't think they do not have longevity of success. They have fantasy success, but not NFL success. And
We'll see.
Very spicy take there.
The problem is you guys say it's spicy. I don't see it as too spicy. So let's get back onto the fantasy aspect, of course. Now, Wayne Gallman is officially a 49er. I don't know how long that's going to be. Now, Darius Slayton, I like Darius Slayton a lot. I have him on Dynasty.
Now your credibility is out the door.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Kyler Murray.
Darius Slayton.
Just wait till I hit you with my Darius Slayton spiel. You like my Giants spiel? You didn't even get my Darius Slayton spiel.
I think Darius Slayton,
an asshole. I watched that man just completely myrtleize a 12-year-old on freaking Madden. Like the 12-year-old just
do the same.
Like he's like, I'm playing with like an NFL player, and they're like, bro, you know the whole playbook. This isn't fair. This kid knows nothing. Like he's like, all's fair in love and war. I'm like,
yeah.
I want to hear
kid to learn.
I'm ready for Darius Slayton, so I can tell you why Darius Slayton is screwed.
Okay, let's hear it. Besides the fact that they drafted.
Well, I want to hear why you like.
Oh, I just like Darius Slayton. I think he has all the tools to be a phenomenal wide receiver, and I think with him and Daniel Jones, I think they can have that connection better than a Galladay connection, better than a Saquon connection. I think there's no real statistic to back it up other than a gut feeling, and I like my gut feeling.
So if I told you, like between us,
okay,
it's all public information though.
No, it's off the record.
If I told you that Darius Slayton had a 52.1% completion rate with 11 points lost, you still feel so strongly.
Yeah, I'm gonna die on it's the same hill of the Daniel Jones' elite hill.
And he's gonna go into the dust, and then he'll get traded, and hopefully he'll go to the 49ers, and you can root for him and then cry the way he made me cry.
No. There's a difference of coaches between a Sheahan and whoever's the coach of the Giants. There's a difference. Sheahan makes dirt into gold.
Chill and judge, but yes, Jason Garrett is Shanahan's my favorite offensive mind in the entire league, so I will not discredit him. But
so, I mean, Wayne Gallman, of course, he's gone. Golden Tate is currently a free agent, and I mean, of course, they did sign John Ross and, of course, Kenny Galladay. Should I be worried about John Ross? Do I even care about him?
No one cares.
I'm dying on John Ross Hill. I don't care. Like, I was in on him as a bounce back candidate. Like, I know he sucks. I know he's only fast. I know he can't stay fit. But like at this point, he's free, and I'm this far down the road with it. I think if he can stay fit, we saw what Herbert could do with a traditional field stretcher roll, open it out underneath, blah, blah, blah. We might see that with John Ross. He's clearly got ability, can't put it together. So why the hell not with the genius offensive mind that is Jason Garrett?
So I think that's what benefits him, is that Jason Garrett is so simple-minded. I don't think that the Giants are very fantasy-friendly other than Daniel Jones and Saquon. And Rudolph. I would argue Rudolph, I think I prefer over these other guys. I think that Jason Garrett is going to have so many options, and that's going to be the only advantage that they have. So, if Ross gets a touchdown a game, not surprising if Galladay gets 1 to 2 a game and then Rudolph gets X, I think they're going to spread the playbook is what's going to end up happening. You have all these options now. You still have Dante Pettis who's over there. People forget that they brought him over. So there's options. Yeah. I like him. I watched him when I was still at college, and I think he's going to be, using him on special teams is something I watched him in college. He has the talent to do it. And he did good at the end of the season when he actually played.
He's got no heart. And I realize that sounds like such an old man take, but like that's the word around. He's just not tough. And like for all of the faults of NFL players is you got to go when your number's called. And I think Pettis sleeps with the light on.
Right. And we haven't even mentioned Sterling Shepard, who's basically my favorite player on the team. There's also still that there who's coming off of one of his career best years too. So there's options there. I think they're going to spread the ball too much for them to be super fantasy relevant other than Daniel Jones and Saquon. That's it.
So I like Shepard too, but you're right. I don't see him getting the volume that's going to make him worthwhile.
What's Saquon's ADP? Let's get a couple of this or that's on him.
I know, he's like the RB5.
RB5?
I thought he was.
Yeah, what do you know? He's the RB5.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I thought he was higher than that. Okay.
No,
okay.
Okay. Who's going? Let's see. So Dalvin Cook or Saquon, I'm guessing, is right there.
I mean, we generally do the
Dalvin's higher. He's RB2.
Yeah, we generally do the who's going after him. Would you rather Nick Chubb or Barkley?
Give me Chubb.
Yeah, I'll go Chubb.
Barkley.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor.
It's not Barkley.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I don't like Barkley, but I'd rather go Barkley.
Look, we've already talked about him.
I consider Taylor there, though. I will be honest. That would be tough for me.
There's a weird Jonathan Taylor cult that I don't particularly like.
No,
I think he's a fine player, as opposed to a Jonathan Taylor cult, which he is. That people like, he's the one. He's my number one in Dynasty and all that. You're like,
that's called being dramatic.
The Jonathan Taylor cult is almost annoying as the Antonio Gibson cult. Those ones, they're the far worst of the cults.
Hey, we'll get into that in a second.
It's basically Saquon's your RB5. You're on the clock. I suppose the question would be, if you're on the clock at 4, do you go Barkley or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry. Come on, he's King Henry.
Yeah, in redraft. It's hard, though. I really do, and I'm not trying to be a homer. I do see Saquon coming into this. He's very capable of having a very, very good year. So in redraft, Henry, but I would easily take Saquon without I wouldn't even think about it.
It's always going to be Derrick Henry for me, but I am also a Derrick Henry truther. I've been a Derrick Henry truther since the beginning of time, even when everyone hated him. I've won multiple fantasy championships with Derrick Henry on my roster. I am one of those people like, oh, we got a championship together. I'm drafting you the next year. Like, I'm one of those people. It is what it is. I know that's a bad habit, but I can't help it. I call it the fantasy fraternity. Once you're in the fraternity, you're in for life.
That's fair. Now, go ahead.
So you got to do it. We play the game for fun. You want to win with your guys.
Yeah.
There we are. So, I mean, Saquon, he has girthy legs. I mean, Derrick Henry, he's just girthy.
You love that word, girthy, by the way.
It's a fun word. It just comes out the word.
It far too much.
It's very naughty, by the way, but okay.
Oh, sorry. No, it's a fun word. It just kind of like rolls off the tongue. So the Washington football team, we're going to go over them now.
But before we go on to the Washington football team, there's one more name on the Giants that I think is worth discussing. That's Kadarius Toney. He was the wide receiver 4 taken, I think, on draft night. There were talks that Urban Meyer really wanted him. What's that, man?
He has the ugliest reception perception on the face of the planet, just so everyone knows. Like, his route tree is not great.
But again, the Giants don't need him to do that because they have the weapon. So he's there to be a jackhammer and just get a touchdown and get the yards. So I think if Azeez went before Kadarius and we took Kadarius in the second round, no one would have said shit. But people hate New York. They hate the Giants. So we trade down, get another first so that we can secure a quarterback next year if we need to, but it's the end of the damn world. But if Urban Meyer gets him, no one's saying anything. So it doesn't matter. I have no other comment on that. No one can tackle him. He's going to break the tackle. That body control is different. That's how Devontae Smith is. That's how Kyle Pitts is. Those guys, that's why they're different, because they can get out of the way. They're intuitive, high football IQ guys.
I need to see better routes. I gotta see better routes.
Routes.
You gotta remember, I played receiver. I played receiver. So like when I watched the film, it's just a whole thing. Like I watched that, just like I couldn't like.
He doesn't need it. Not there. He's not expected to do a lot, but get the ball to the red zone.
So you're not expected to do a lot, but you've taken pick 20. Like there are so many of these gadget players in this draft.
Does it matter if we got Aziz? Because he should have got taken in the first round.
That boy don't dig his heels in the dirt on his cuts. I'm telling you.
Okay. I don't care. Listen, I was shocked too, but you pick up another first and you tell me you get Aziz and Kadarius Toney, I'm chill. That's totally fine with me.
I see that. I see that logic.
I could tell you could have done that, but instead you used pick 20 on essentially Tavon Austin. So that's exciting.
That's true.
But in saying that, I feel like Tony's a bit of a sneaky value in Dynasty Leagues at the moment. Early on in the process, a lot of people had him obscenely high. And I remember... and
then he went to the Giants, and then y'all started talking. That's what happens, A player goes to the Giants, and you decide you hate him. It's the same thing every year.
It's all about situation. It's all about situation. Right now, when
situation's there. Shut up.
Not really. Galladay's there. Sterling Shepard's there. They have people. They have people. They got weapons. They're still run first.
Guy, so it's great. He doesn't have to be. It's a perfect situation for Gary.
You and I worked the draft together. You already knew before you guys even picked him that I was out. Like I was like, no.
I was in. I just not in the first round. I think it's dramatic that he got taken in the first round. And Giants fans, I got unfollowed by probably 200 people that night because I posted a video. All I said was. I was like, Kadarius Toney there? Like, I posted a live reaction video and got unfollowed. Like, I didn't say one word about the player. And if they actually follow me, I like his film. I actually think he's going to be fine. He's just never going to be a wide receiver one. That's not his role. His role is to a playmaker. That's it. Like, you're not, and that's how a lot of the guys on the team are. Same with Ross. Like, he might get a touchdown a game because they're going to put him in randomly.
But that's not necessarily fantasy viable.
No,
I don't think the Giants are fantasy viable, though. I keep telling people, y'all crazy. Daniel Jones, Saquon, and Rudolph are all I'm advising. Like, I don't have any other advisements. I think you're insane to take anyone else unless it's a very good, fair value.
Okay, and I think that's my point on Toney is that he's a first round receiver, like it or not, who's currently going at the back end of second or even early third in dynasty drafts. Wow. I think at that point, whether you believe in him or not, whether it's he's only had 1 year of production, and I don't particularly like Toney. Even before him being on the Giants, believe it or not, I didn't like him. But I think at that point, you've got to start looking and going, well, that's exceptional value for a player who the NFL clearly think is a first-round talent or even, as you said, top 20 pick talent. So, I think it's all about value, and that's where the value is, I think, at the back end of second-round dynasty drafts. Anyway,
I haven't seen him go any earlier than, the 11th round.
His ADP is basically undrafted.
It's crazy.
All right, Steph, you had your fun. Time to get into the Washington football team.
Oh, God. All right. This is going to be another fun one. This is going to be a fun one. All right, so the Washington football team, 7-9, lost in a wild call to Tampa Bay. Hey, almost won that game, by the way. 25th in points scored, 30 in yards gained, 25th in passing yards, 26th in rushing yards. God, I think that was worse than the Giants stat line right there. Antonio Gibson led the team in rushing with almost 800 yards and 11 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin, the man with almost 2 first names, had 87 catches, 1,000 receiving yards, and then Logan Thomas 6 receiving touchdowns.
Logan Thomas is a man with 2 first names.
Yeah,
yes, you know the rule. You never trust the man with 2 first names.
What if you met anyone who's called anything like McLaurin?
It has Lauren in it.
Is it like McLovin? Like,
it's like a Starbucks drink name. Like that's what I expect. Like some Terry McLaurin, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good Starbucks drink. So
Terry McLaurin.
4 players to start at least one game under center. Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, yada yada, all that good stuff. So before I give our boy the floor here, I might as well explain why I hate Antonio Gibson so much and will not be dealing with him this year or ever, probably. So he ran for 115 yards against Dallas Thursday night. I believe this was a Thanksgiving game. And then about 6 weeks later, he ran for 128 yards against Dallas again. Other than those 2 games, he averaged 44 rushing yards. That is horrible. And I would argue that they almost got worse on the offensive line. Now, I don't know if you could recall a running back that was successful under Ryan Fitzmagic. I can't. Therefore,
valid point.
Therefore, I'm just going to say
Chris Ivory when he was with the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
fair. True.
Way to make me feel old.
Because of that, I'm going to say, I don't think it's a good idea to take Antonio Gibson. He had, I think, an inflated touchdown number. I think that decreases. 11 is a pretty high for my taste. And especially when now we're going to have a little bit off a passing quarterback, it might regress a little bit. I don't want Antonio Gibson.
I love your take. Under normal circumstances, you know me, you follow me on Twitter.
We follow each other. We follow each other.
Oh yeah, we follow each other. Under normal circumstances, I would agree with the logic. I would not allow emotion to sway me. But in this scenario, I'm just solely hooked. I'm solely invested in Gibson. I've been invested since I had to do his profile. Before he got drafted last year. A year ago. I fucking care. Yeah, right. Yeah, last year, right? Yeah.
Yep.
But fell in love with the film. I love the way that he could be used. Dynamically, how I spoke. I love running backs that can be used in dynamic, situations, both passing and running, anyways. Hence why I like Gainwell, Pollard. I love all the Memphis backs that have came out the last 2-3 years of the draft period, because of they could do multiple different things. With that being said and stated, that aside, Fitzmagic coming in, I'm still wholeheartedly believing in Gibson. I am believing that Coach Rivera wants to pound the rock with this team. I think that is why they have bulked up the offensive line, with the way that they have. I have wholehearted confidence. McKissick, is now another year older and he's been in the league forever. You're not going to keep running with that guy. Curtis Samuel probably won't be utilized in the jet sweep role really, because that was a thing that happened underneath Rule, not Rivera. Rivera uses them to expand the field because of his speed. So just a combination of those things. I think that Gibson is still going to be exactly what he was last year, maybe even better. It took him a minute to kind of get that step underneath him. Yes, he did very exceptionally well against the Cowboys, but against that rivalry, I want my team, fantasy aside, I want that to happen. So you did your job, Gibson. So be the Cowboy killer.
So let's see. They lost their left tackle, and then they picked up Charles Leno Jr. from the Bears, who was cut from the Bears. And the Bears, let's say they had a below average to fairly bad offensive line. So I don't necessarily consider this a come up on the offensive line. They did draft an offensive guard.
We draft Sam Cosmi, and we maintain Sheriff as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is true. It's tough. They weren't exactly efficient running the ball, and I don't feel like they didn't make enough upgrades around on the offensive line to make me go, oh yeah, this year is going to be different. I don't see.
I disagree. I disagree. In terms of that, I think that Cosme is a badass pick. And we can move him, either right or left. And same with Leno, because he's played the position for so long. Sheriff, maintaining Sheriff, that was an integral piece that we needed to make sure that we maintained. He's been one of the better offensive linemen in the NFL that we've seen over the last, I want to say 5 to 7 years. You could put him, you could put a guy like Sheriff, up there with the what's his name that we just lost? Terrence or Williams. You can put him up there with the Williams. You can put him up there with the Zach Martin. Hell, I'll even go as far as the great Joe Thomas. You know, you can put him up there with those guys in terms of ranking, and you know he's that good. So I think that we're fine on the line. Fitzpatrick, obviously, you know, he's going to air out the ball more. We're gonna lose. He'll lose us for sure, like 2 to 4 games, like just off of his turnovers alone. But no, I'm still sold on Gibson. Like it's just gonna be a thing. Like until it actually happens, I'm not changing the tune.
Oh, all right, Stephanie. I know I saw you with your hands raised.
I'm respectful. I'm respecting.
I like.
You know, it's so funny. Robbie, my first chance to ever do a live show. I respect him. He's part of the NFC East. You know, It's a hard place to live over here. So, you know what? I'm a huge, and Robbie knows this, I have supported Washington. I almost said their, you know, the word.
Former moniker, yeah.
Not the political, not that word. So I support them. I'm a closet Washington fan, the same way that I'm a closet Charger. Like I have these teams I have, you know, a feeling towards, and I love Washington, but they pissed me off. Bring on Fitz and not trading up and getting your guy pissed me off. You have a Super Bowl. Like, you have everything you need. What more do you need? And then you bring on old man Fitz, who hasn't played 16 games since 15, I think, in 2016, 2015, I think he played the full 16. Now you want this 38-year-old man to play 17 games and take you to the promised land? Now he's going to screw your draft place. Like,
I mean, it's Washington.
Plan? I don't get that.
It's Washington where old white men go to succeed.
I want to know why.
But then on top of that,
I swear to God,
no, I was about to get into that.
Smack your ass, don't.
And then you keep freaking Heineken. You trust that off the little bit of fucking sample size that you saw that he's gonna be the guy.
He did better than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and you're also the person drafting Jalen Hurts because you saw it 12.2 seconds, and you're like, like that's not how you figure out if a quarterback is good or not.
Not. Like, I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed. But it is what it is. You know, Fitzmagic. This is your last ride. Like you know, and there's no better last ride. I think that it is 38. Yeah, 38 is about time to retire.
He was going to retire. It's not. I hope you guys win the NFC East because you, to me, are the biggest threat. So it's like, y'all want to fuck up and have like the lowest draft position that we could get. That's cool. I'm down with it. I think Fitz was just a bad move. I was all in on you. There were so many options there. God. But I have a spicy take that I've been thinking about. If the Philadelphia Eagles, this is a new thing. I thought this last night. If the Philadelphia Eagles decide they're going to move on from Hurts, imagine Hurts in Washington.
Nah.
Ooh.
That would be so good.
That'd be so good.
I like football. I don't care. Everything else aside, that would be awesome.
Because you know exactly what play that Rivera's immediately gonna draw up. He's gonna go there. So you're gonna roll left. You're gonna roll left, McLaurin. You're gonna hit a 9 route and just fuck. Fucking McLaurin's down there somewhere. Oh gosh! And then with Curtis Samuel. And then you can
yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get your hopes up because then when you guys have
I've always wanted us to have a running quarterback. I've always wanted us to have a running quarterback, but I've always, and it never works out. Like the last time when we had RG3, you know, we didn't know that his knees were marked for fragile. Okay, but when we had him, like we looked damn good. Like what did we win? We won like 12 games that year. Like.
Should have beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, we should have beat the Seahawks. If it wasn't, RG3 should have told us that he was hurt. I can't. Athletes, tell your damn coach that you are hurt. Okay, do not do the RG3 thing. Do not cost your team the game because you want to keep fucking playing. And
unless you're
tell me how you really feel. Tell me how you really feel.
Bro, I know that feeling because I was the athlete in high school that I was like, no, I'm gonna stay on the field, and I ended up hurting myself more than costing my team a win. Yeah, no, it's a shitty feeling. Don't do that.
Nah,
maybe the upside of having Jalen Hurts under center. You always know.
All right. But no, like watching, I like our chances. I like whether we do good this year and we win the division, cool, great. If we suck and we're the basement dwellers, or we're in the middle of the pack, we better suck so damn bad that we do get a first round type of quarterback, because I feel like we are that type of team that can go from worst to first real quick. Because we are just a quarterback away. Like, it is a quarterback away thing. We're back into 2015 all over again, and I don't like it, honestly, because it's a weird place to be because you're stuck in the middle.
And I will say, too, the one thing that the Giants in Washington have over the other teams is the defense. And we've seen it historically all the time, is that defense can take you to the promised land. Look at what I know that's near and dear to my heart. 2007, 2011, New York Giants defense all day, every day. Like, that is how that at least gives you an up. Yep. But I think God, I'm so mad at you guys because I was rooting for you and now y'all piss me off. Like, you guys had a chance there. Like, because the problem is this was a big quarterback class where the rookie class coming in, not great. Like, not a fan. You might as well wait for Archie Manning at this point.
Yeah. like the fact that we didn't even in the later rounds get like Davis Mills, like I don't know if you guys checked out Millsy's tape, but man, that boy is nice. Like, he might have been the most NFL ready developed quarterback out of the draft this year, but everybody was like, oh my gosh, like Justin Fields and Zach Wilson. It's like, but look at this. Like, you see what's happening here in Stanford.
I was a big fan of Mills, and we talked about him earlier. Fehoko really let him down with his inability to, catch a fucking football.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. But
in fact, speaking of guys who can't catch a football, and to direct it, because I'm interested in your thoughts on two guys here. Diami Brown and another one we're talking about, the Washington football team wanting to pound the ball. I think he's going to be this year's James Robinson, Jarrett Patterson.
Okay, I like Jarrett Patterson. I feel like he could be this year's James Robinson if he gets the burn. We'll see how that works out, because it is very clear that they are focused on Gibson. Now, Diami Brown. So you build a wide receiver core where everyone has 4.4, 4.3, sub speed. Can Fitz get all these guys the ball? Yes. I don't know how much Diami is going to get the targets because of where he'll be lining up. It'll depend if we line him up in the slot or if we line him up outside. If we line him up in the slot, I think Fitzmagic is just at that point going to Steffi's point earlier, going to go to Logan Thomas. At that point, it's just LT, and then at that point, Brown's not like he's a figment of our imagination. Like we forget that we even talk about him. If he's on the outside and it's Samuel in the slot, well, then that's where, okay, maybe Brown could maybe be have an effect on McLaurin. But I really view this offense running through McLaurin and Samuel the most at receiver.
Oh, I agree. I personally, I mean, I put it in the show notes. I've got Brown described here as the football equivalent of a garbage bin full of human feces. I think he is terrible. I thought he was close to the worst receiver in this class. Wow. He's a deep threat without true speed. He can't catch. He's no good in contested situations. We talked about Dante Pettis sleeping with a light on. This guy sleeps with every fucking light in his house on. He's just a bad football player. And people look at the stats and go, look at what he did. He was playing with Sam Howell and this, that, and the other. You know what you got to do? You know what you got to do when you are a wide receiver? You need to be able to receive. He cannot catch the ball and he cannot get open.
I forgot about something. First of all, good points. Second of all, I still like Diami Brown. Third of all, you guys, the air flowers now. He is horrible. So bad. I can't believe you brought in Eric Flowers. There is no one I hate more than that man.
Oh, I'm pissed at Flowers.
What was that? Y'all think you're going to resurrect this man? He's going to destroy you guys.
It's the second time. It's the second time that we brought him back.
Paid him like $10 million as well.
Yeah,
Eric
deal.
Flowers haunts he is in my nightmares. I think of him and Cam Fleming repeatedly, like they haunt me. They will haunt me for the rest of my life. I can't believe you guys brought him on. He's gonna he is so
I don't think that he's gonna start. I don't think that he's gonna start. I think they have him there as just a locker room guy.
I hope so. You better pray to Lord.
Is he like old as dirt? Like how old is that fucker? Like I can't believe
he's not that old at all. Is he?
Really?
He got drafted in what, 2000?
Eric Flowers has been in the league for a hot minute, it feels like.
No.
Like what? He's been in the league like 6 years. Like 6 years, right?
I hope so, but he's about to start for you, and you're gonna cry your eyes out. He's so bad. He caused me so much. This will be the second time we brought that man back. Okay. 2015.
He's 27.
He's young. He's got another 5 more years in the NFL.
Yeah, 2015. He was the first. We took him in the first freaking round. He's so bad.
Right. So let's get some ADPs going on. Let's get some ADP, some this or that. Let's take this back to some fantasy related stuff right here. So, of course, let's start with, let's see, we already talked about Antonio Gibson. We don't need to talk about him.
How about we go the man with 2 first names, Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, the Starbucks drink.
Who is named McLaurin?
It's a Starbucks
McLaurin,
drink.
what the fuck? So McLaurin's the wide receiver 14 at the moment. Would you rather Terry McLaurin or Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin.
McLaurin.
McLaurin.
I trust the quarterback from Tampa
Hold
Bay.
on, but let me just say this. Let me just
spread the ball too much over there, though. McLaurin will eat a little bit more.
Yeah, McLaurin will eat, but I'll say this: he does have God and win in his name. Okay, so let's not discourage.
Fair. Good point there.
That's almost another first name. In fact, God and
all I
win.
can think about
the
right
man
now
with 3
is
first
names.
names.
Like I forgot about that. I'm gonna torment you. No, I forgot. I have the funniest thing to send you where it's like all my friends hate Eric Flowers. Fuck Eric Flowers. I'm going to send it to you.
Send it to me. Send that shit to me. Oh my gosh. My fault, fellas.
Sorry to break away from Eric Flowers chat. We can come back to it. Don't worry. Terry McLaurin or Amari Cooper?
McLaurin.
McLaurin.
Cooper disappears too much. Yeah,
McLaurin.
But another Cooper Cup.
Out. I'm Cooper Cup, McLaurin.
I'll still go McLaurin, but yeah, I see what you did there.
Put some respect on Cooper Cup's name.
He's like the guy that takes you on like the most boring date ever.
McDonald's?
Like he's like
never disrespect McDonald's.
Rainforest Cafe.
Not interested. Yeah, he takes you to the Rainforest Cafe. He gets you like the souvenir cup. He pulls your chair. It's like he's so boring for me. Like Cooper Cup I'm out on. I can't find it.
Sis, if a dude takes you to Rainforest Cafe, me and that dude are having some words. Like, I'm like, what the fuck did you think she was 11, bro? Like, come on, take her like a real fucking
11 and a half.
God. He's 11 and a half.
Don't give Nader any ideas for his day. Let's go from a man with 2 first names to a man with no first name. Terry McLaurin or CD Lamb?
Oh, no, not fair. I love them both.
No. Lamb.
I'm going McLaurin still, but no. Like, come on.
Well,
the
good news is
down week 8, and then you regret saying that.
But
ADP-wise, you could have both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. ADP. Oh.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's right. He is right. Oh, that's a scary receiving core.
McLaurin's going 37th, or 37th, 38th, and CD Lamb is 60th.
I got one fantasy team where I have Justin Jefferson and McLaurin. I'm so excited about that. Oh my gosh.
Rude.
Yeah.
Rude. I've got Cook and Henry in one league. Very happy with that.
Oh my gosh. Well, you already won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab the trophy now. Shame the rest of the team shit, but those two are.
Saquon. I never drafted Saquon, but I decided this year, since everyone hates him, I'll just capitalize on that.
Love it.
You lost your league.
I got him for Russell Gage in one league.
Oh wow. That person was really low on Saquon, man. Fuck.
Y'all drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That person's the Rainforest Cafe equivalent of people.
They are the Rainforest Cafe. RXC. That's what I'm going to start calling people. They won't know what it means, but
It'll be the new joke.
We'll do some either or with Antonio Gibson. We've already talked about those guys going around that mark, but we'll go with some names ahead of him. Would you rather Gibson over Akers, Dobbins, or Swift?
Okay, before I answer this question, I am a Gibson Akers truther.
All of them.
I would take Gibson over. It would only be Gibson and Akers is where I debate, but Gibson over the other two for sure.
Gibson, no.
Akers, Dobbins, or Swift
is going to disappoint the crap out of everyone. He is like, to me, label everything all over that is you guys have hyped this up too much. I don't know where it came out of. I don't know if it was boredom in the office. I don't care. So I don't know who the third one was, but Gibson between the two of them. I'm out on Akers. I don't care. I'm out.
There's no way a Sean McVay running back is going to just fail like that, especially how dominant he was last year.
He'll be good. I just rather have someone like Chubb or Gibson.
Well, Chubb is going in like the first round.
The other ones were Dobbins and Swift, and I'd take Gibson and Akers over Dobbins and Swift. When it comes down to Gibson and Akers, that's when
Swift, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes down to between Gibson and Akers, that's where I'm like, I'll literally be sitting in the draft room like, flip a coin, fuck it, like let it happen.
Yeah. I'm not in on Akers. I'm not.
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
I'm slowly backing off the two Kayla Swift train, but I think it would be Gibson here for me as well.
No, yeah, that's tough. I think J.D. McKissick would be probably one of the best value running backs you could take, especially with a passing quarterback like Fitz.
And especially with Gibson, who has this toe that is bothering him. He's actually a great redraft value because if Gibson goes, McKissick has proven to do very well when he is expected to be the RB1.
And I mean, even with Antonio Gibson, he was still a very valuable fantasy running back. I mean, the PPR points, oh man. I mean, Alex Smith isn't there to dump it off, but still, I'll take Fitzmagic all day long.
People don't like to hear that, though.
That's big targets. Mm-hmm. There is an interesting either or for McKissick, actually. I wasn't going to, but there is J.D. McKissick or Tariq Cohen.
J.D. McKissick.
I think it's Cohen for me.
Tariq Cohen is interesting, though. I have to say, like, his rehab and stuff has gone pretty well. I don't know. The Bears are a little bit of an interesting team. McKissick has proved to be able to be a very solid RB2 with points coming in.
And I'm not gonna lie. Like Cohen is really, really good on his ankles. He has really great geometry with his footwork. Like I love the way he cuts. So I'm one of those fantasy players. I watch film, but I'm like, yeah, I want that person.
That's fair. That is fair. All right. Any more this or that's for us, Sheahan?
I mean, we can talk Logan Thomas. I'm not sold on Logan Thomas. I think he was a 1 yearer, but tight end is such a barren landscape. And with we talked about Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. They were guys who ostensibly better tight ends than him, but are going to cannibalize each other. So he's probably going to end up a tight end one.
So when we look at like I believe what it's just like if we just break down, we'll say the top 12. Well, not say because it's actual fucking statistic. You break down the top 12 tight ends. After your big three, it's about a point. Last year was about a 0.3 separation between each. So you're really talking about at the tight end position splitting hairs.
Mathematically, if you did not take a top 3 tight end, you're better off taking streaming a tight end and then taking a kicker in the 9th round instead.
What about Pitts?
Right, that's correct.
So let's enter Pitts into the equation though, with Julio gone.
We don't. I mean, so we would have to speak hypothetically because we don't have the data. But I mean, hypothetically, I don't think that it would probably change too much. But I mean, that would require Pitts to happen in the year at the ADP that he began with.
I would probably argue there's that top 3 step becomes a top 5. I think you could probably throw Mark Andrews into that as well. But it really is that wherever you cut the elite bracket, I mean, there's still a jump from those elite 3 to those next 2 names down.
There's 4 that I'm okay with. It's the Holy Trinity and then Pitts. And then from there, I actually would rather jump over everyone and just keep stacking talent and then go for someone like Jonnu, even German, honestly. Like someone that I think has a very high ceiling.
That's
I
even
keep
if you
beating
want
the
to
first year drum. So
Our
even if
two
you-
regular listeners will know that I'm a big fan of Anthony Ferguson. He's the guy that I think is going to be pretty good value.
That's even if you want to put
crushed
George
up.
Kittle in that elite category, you might be able to take him off, and it's not even that much of a hot take with how injured he consistently is.
that's what I was about to say. You can only utilize the injuries, and even still, his stats are so freaking inflated when he is on the field that like kind of erases it. But yeah, no, I feel that 110%. With Kittle, you have to have a tight. You have to have a backup tight end. You have to prepare for him to go down. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I think that Waller is almost like he's approaching this level where, especially in redraft, like I'm starting to consider taking Waller because I think that that's really what they have over there.
Yeah.
He's their golden child at this point. So I'm almost loving the Waller. And you can wait. Kelsey will go in a redraft first round. If you can sneak around that bend and get Waller, I mean, he's going to get so many targets, kind of volume you're going to get. I'm loving Waller. I'm starting to get I was never off the Waller train. I'm very much getting on though, especially.
Yeah, I'm very much on. I'm very much on the Waller train. I'm very, very much on the Waller train. And by the way, his lyrics aren't that bad. His rapping is not that bad. So
It's not Le'Veon Bell. Is he Le'Veon Bell good?
Oh, he's better than Le'Veon. Le'Veon is awful.
No, Le'Veon Bell is by far the best rapper I've ever heard in my life.
Is that why he and Andy Reid fell out? Because
Eminem is somewhere punching air like, what did he say?
That's terrifying. Alrighty. As much fun as talking to you guys is, Sheahan, is currently almost 3 a.m. for you. I think it's a little bit unfair to keep you up right now.
Coming up to it, but I tell you what, of all the episodes, this is one where I don't feel like I'm ready to go to sleep straight away. It's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, and don't worry. I think next episode I'll tell everybody why I think you're supposed to. And I still do this. I take every girl's first date is to McDonald's. I will die on that hill, and you must do it.
Is it the morning
the
after?
episode with you thinking it was fine dining.
No.
Because I've been on a lot of morning after dates to McDonald's too.
No. That is literally the first date.
Oh, another story, dude.
No, it's literally the first date is to McDonald's.
Oh God!
You gotta know she's down. You gotta know she's down or not.
Yeah.
These days, it's all about ordering in the next morning.
Man,
listen, I would rather order in, but
No.
y'all take me to a McDonald's.
Yeah,
Are you single?
We don't talk about that.
That's why.
He takes her to McDonald's, locks her in there for 24 hours while he's putting away 20 nuggets at a time.
At least I have company. No, like either they're down or they're a gold digger. It's one of the two.
Yeah, hey, that's a good test though. Like,
It's literally that.
I'd rather have order Chinese at your place or my place. Like McDonald's though. Like y'all can get cheap, but if you want to be cheap, that's cool. I don't even like going out to dinner. I'd rather be at home. But let's just do Chinese. Spend the extra $15. And then I know that you're at least cool. You're not going to take me out to an expensive dinner until whatever. But take me to McDonald's, I'm not trash.
No.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's it's tough. It's a tough one.
It's a fine line, but I'll do respect all that.
Here's some late in the show Nader's wise words of wisdom. Start with a happy meal, doesn't end with a happy ending.
Let's go.
Not bad. That was pretty good. I like that one.
It's all about the general.
I'm coming for your segment.
Right? Give me that fried rice.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
That was perfect.
And then, if they're nice, they get a McFlurry afterwards. And oh, man, those are delicious. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, of course, Stephanie, we'll start with you. Let everybody know where they could find you.
I'm a beat writer. No,
Sure.
I'm not. I actually work for FTN. I'm with FTN Bets, FTN Fantasy. I have my show Small Talk, Off Topic. Everything I do is on my Twitter at Steffi Smalls with 3 L's. And that's about it. There was a nice little write-up about me. Our friends here think I'm a beat writer. I don't know what the deal is, but no.
I think you'll find it says host of on sleeperWire's On Beat series.
Yes, of course. And as always, my On Beat show with sleeperWire, where I do interview beat writers, which I am not a beat writer.
No. What I said was correct, and everything else is considered fake news.
You also take girls to McDonald's for a first date, so I think they're going to believe me over you.
I hear a beat writer. You've barely touched your fries.
I know. Robbie, help me out here.
It's your boy Rum Boys Robbie of the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rum Boys and girls. What it do? Dilly dilly. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all can find me on Twitter at Rum Boys Robbie, at Rum Boys spelled with a Z, Net on all other social medias. Motherfucker, just Google me. Rumboys.com. That's where you can find me. The very first thing that pops up when you type in Rum Boys. Check out our whole entire writing staff. Big up to Scott Fish for letting practically like the whole staff in, because I didn't tell them to sign up and I wasn't pushing for that. But on their own merit, they're good enough to get in. So it shows that we're building a really good product here over at the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. Also, download the damn Sports Me app. We're in the middle of a investment bidding right now. Think of like TikTok, except for sports analysts. And you can go back and forth. You can debate your takes. Everyone download the Sports Me app. I'm fucking trying to hurry up and be a millionaire. So everyone download it. We're in the middle of this huge investment, meeting thing, and yeah, we're trying to prove to them why they should give me money.
That's fair. Yeah. But if that works out, you have to give me some of it.
Oh, bro, hop on the app and start vesting your equity today. Like, come on, let's go.
My equity is currently in Dogecoin and GameStop, so I don't know if I can help you out there.
I'm saying, hop on the app.
What about McDonald's? You have nothing in McDonald's?
Are they even a public? I don't even know they were.
They are a public IPO, yeah. But no, for real, everyone out there, like I can't stress that enough. Like, download the fucking Sports Me app. And yes, like you're gonna, if you're one of the early creators of it, you're gonna get some incentives. Right now, we're running an incentive for every 5 quality creators that you're able to bring on. We're kicking out $25 gift cards for every quality creator that you bring on. So if you can bring on, a couple of big names, if you can convince a couple of big quality people with 10K plus following to hop on the app, we're gonna fucking give you some money, and you can do that as many times as you want. And we're going to give you 25 each time.
There we are. All right, Sheahan, help me out here.
Well, I'm not available on the Sports Me app. I am, however, available on Twitter. I'm at Sheahan Solo, as I always am. We are currently going through basically doing this podcast in a much shorter, less shouty form with our man Aaron Neihart. He's breaking down the divisions. I just had an article about the LA Chargers, which was pretty good, I thought, as I always think my articles are. I've got this one about the Cowboys coming out at some point. And you can, of course, find me in the Scott Fishbowl, unlike so many other people who would love to be found there.
Yeah, honestly,
brings me a lot of joy.
I think I do have an in, so I could have gotten him in, but call me a beat writer, it's not going to fly.
True.
There we are.
All right, so
made your own bed here.
I know. So of course you can find me at Top Tier Tactics _ who Steph currently follows, who I am not currently following back. But other than that, everybody, good luck.